It's the international break mini bonus episode, and we've got reasons to celebrate. Find out more right here on the Crowing Cockerel podcast.
Hello again to the Crowing Cockerel podcast. This time a mini episode to celebrate the near of the end of this international break, which,
Yes.
has dragged on for months. Feels like years. Just want to get back into it. We left Spurs just after a fantastic away win at Leeds, and now we're back home against Aston Villa on Sunday. But a bit has been going on, so we'll get into that straight away. So Fabio Paratici has been confirmed as joint sporting director with Johan Lange. And that is off the back of the announcement £100 million has been put in by the Lewis family, with the statement over and over again that the Lewis family loved us winning the Europa League final, the silverware back in May, and they want to see more of it, and the desire to put us at the top table of the football world. So how are you feeling? Should we get too excited about this, or is it just words without action at the moment?
I'm all in. They've completely won me over. I'm all in on this story, and I'm very excited. And I know 100 million, it's probably a drop in the ocean compared to some clubs, but I think it's more the intent that it shows, injecting that cash into the club.
It's not 100 million. That's our transfer budget. It's 100 million put into the club for cash flow. You don't spend 100 million pound on a player in one go. It's to make sure the finances is there. What I'm a little bit excited about was the suggestion that there's a desire to up the wage ratio by upping the capital ratio.
But we've got the lowest at the moment, haven't we? I think that's always been the thing that Levy prided himself on, is we've got the lowest ratio. And I think you've said it before, it's the single biggest measure of success is how much you're prepared to pay in the wages.
I thought it was a great bit of news. The biggest thing for me for that 100 million in that statement was the fact that it was preceded by an initial 100 million. And that commitment, that's the thing that I think we can get excited about. I think we can look forward to the winter transfer window with a little bit of excitement, but 100 million is what it's maybe a couple more players if that's where the money goes. And like I say, that initial investment is hopefully sort of a portent of more to come.
I do agree with you, Tom. Absolutely fantastic point. In the statement, that word initial was used. So it's a level of commitment, isn't it?
It's a statement of intent, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
That statement of intent, putting a marker down, there's always a little element where if a club is showing that sort of financial muscle, positioning itself in the market in that way, so double-edged sword, but I'd rather be at that end of the scale. Absolutely, every day of the week.
It's a nice problem to have, isn't it? It'll be interesting, actually, now that Levy isn't involved, it'll be interesting to see who, first of all, is leading those negotiations now. Is it going to be Venai, or is it going to be Paratici, or how is that dynamic going to play out? And where does it leave Lange?
Well, my brief understanding of the announcement today is that it looks like Lange is going to be more development squad and that sort of things, whereas Thom Fabio is going to be more dealing with first team transfers, and you're going out to the market or more experienced player transfers, shall we say? So,
what the transfers he brought in last time, that there's a ring of truth to that, isn't there?
Yeah, I think he's the wheeler dealer for the player that is or should be first team ready, whereas Lange is going to be looking at the development and the scouting to bring in maybe a little bit more a prospect.
The prospects. Yeah, I think the thing as well to remember, of course, is that Paratici has been acting on our behalf as a kind of an independent consultant for quite a few months now.
Yeah, it's definitely not been employed, because that can't have possibly happened, because he was absolutely not allowed to be employed, and he was absolutely not involved in any football matters for at least the last 2 years. He was just really friendly with the people in the canteen.
Yes, of course. Having said all of that, I do have the belief that not a lot is actually going to change on a day-to-day basis with his official appointment. That's the kind of the sentiment that I'm getting from reading around. Yeah, but it says a lot though, doesn't it? I think there was a little bit of, because there's always, it's kind of been the worst kept secret, isn't it? That once he finally managed to kind of get all of that conviction stuff dealt with, he was probably going to come back to Spurs. But he was obviously very close with Daniel Levy. So once Levy left, there was this issue about whether he was going to come back or whether that was part of just completely cutting that connection. But I think it shows his reputation. You know, he's got a fantastic reputation. And obviously, if you look at the players that he brought in during the period that he was with us, his appointment really, you can see that as a turning point in our fortunes. When you compare to that previous period of some of the terrible signings that we made, we've really have made some stellar signings during his previous tenure.
Yeah, and I think as well, you look at what the club is trying to do with regards to the image, this new view of it being communications first club, you know, making sure they're fronting up to the fans and being open and honest. Now, you do that with somebody who's got a bit of a dodgy football conviction against their name, you've got to be absolutely sure that they're worth taking the punt on. So again, it enforces that sense that at the top level, they think that Paratici is absolutely worth bringing in and getting on that full-term contract. I think at the end of the day, given everything that's happened so far since Levy left, we can be pretty positive with how things are being run.
But what is great about this is that we're only 2 months away from finding out how real all this ambition really is, isn't it? Because they've done all this. They've said they've pumped all this money. They've said they want to be at the top table. They want to be winning things. And the way us fans see evidence of ambition is basically in transfer windows. And to be fair, they admitted it. They admitted it that in their interview that the transfer windows are important. So yeah, it'll be really, really interesting to see what the January window looks like, because of course you've got this balance here of January windows generally aren't brilliant for bringing players in, but you've also got a World Cup in the summer, which means that maybe players are more open to a move.
I actually think, and especially in our front line, if we're not seeing Thom come back, if we're not seeing Colin Mawani and Richie, you know, owning that front spot and actually banging some goals in, then I think we have to be brave. I think we have to go and think about bringing in a proper proven centre forward.
Well, there's a rumour, isn't there, about Ivan Toney? That's a rumour I've heard, is that he obviously is not getting a look in England-wise because he's out in the wilderness right now.
But I believe he's doing quite well out there.
I'd hope
But
so.
as you say, he's not getting a look in England, is he? So,
well, as we're talking about Tony playing for England and off the back of that international break, how about a Thom's teaser to wet the whistle?
Yes, please.
Thom's teaser.
Okay, so just so you're aware, I have used Tottenham Hotspur's very own October Internationals live coverage page for the resource of Thom's teaser this week. And because I know how much you love the international break, I thought I'd base it around Spurs players on international duty. Now, I should say this relates to only 14 of our first team players who are on international duty. Does not relate to under 21s, does not relate to our loan players. And the question is this. Of our 14 first team players who are on international duty over the last week or so, what were the combined minutes played?
What a cracker of a question. Right.
So that's 14 first team players.
Yeah.
And of course, some of these guys played more than one match. I am including friendlies here, but of course it's across the first team players we're looking at here. But Mark, we will come to you first.
Okay, right. Let me have a little think about this. So 14 first teamers.
While you have a little think, I'll also add, whoever gets this right gets the shot of a bonus question.
I think while Mark's brain is ticking over as well, it's worth mentioning again that neither myself or Mark have any warning of what this question might be. This is as live as we get. It is likely to embarrass both of us and show up our lack of knowledge of anything. But just want to put it out there. We're not pretending. We really, really don't know. So, yeah.
I like to see you squirm.
Yeah.
Go on then, Mark.
Right. I have an answer. So I don't think that many of our players played 90 minutes for their countries, and I certainly don't think many of them played both games. So I am going to go with 1,174.
Okay, let me just note that down. 1,174. Graham, your guess. Combined
Right,
minutes.
Okay. So the absolute maximum, if I've done the maths right by putting the right numbers in the calculator correctly, is 2,520 minutes. That's 14 players playing 180 minutes. But I also know that Xavi Simons only played a combined about 20 minutes. I also know that Kevin Danso only played one game. Okay. So I think it's significantly less than half. So I'm going to go with 834.
Mark, you said 1,174. Graham, you said 840.
No, 834.
34. I put that the
Yes.
wrong way round. That's my fat sausage fingers. Well, I can tell you that, Graham, you're miles off.
Ooh.
And Mark, you're practically only 100 minutes out.
Oh.
The full amount of minutes was 1,277 minutes. I will say I was only doing up to the 90 minutes, not extra minutes played. But Mark, yeah, to get 1,174, that is brilliant. Well
Get
played.
in.
Well
I think that's the
played.
first point that I've actually won rather than Graham's lost.
Graham, you were right. Xavi Simons played combined minutes of 16. But Mark, you now get a chance at the bonus. Can you tell me the two players that played the most and the least minutes?
Well, I think Spence played both games for England, didn't he? So I'm going to go Spence
For the
as
most, okay. And for the least minutes.
Less than Xavi. I would say maybe Richarlison.
Richarlison actually played 26 minutes, so you don't get the bonus point. You're right with Jed. Jed played, and can we just take a moment here? Jed played full game, both games, one on the left back position, one as the right back position.
Yeah.
No one's talking about that enough, by the way.
Pinged a nice assist in, didn't he, for their own goal?
Indeed. But, and I'm surprised you didn't get this because there were a few reports when it actually happened. Our first team player,
Oh,
and he is a first team player,
I know now. No, I know exactly who it is.
You don't get the point, but go on.
It's Basuma.
It's Basuma.
Yeah,
who came
he played
on
for like 1 minute, didn't he?
6 minutes. He got to 6
minutes.
Then went off with an injury. So he's having an awful time.
Yes.
But Mark, you do get the extra point. No, you don't get the extra point, but you do win this week's Tom Teaser. That takes the score to Graham 2 points, Mark 3.
Yes. Play that jingle.
Tom's Teaser.
Good one. That was good. I enjoyed that.
I think it is worth just mentioning Basuma, who's had a really naff comeback. I mean, it's really harsh. It was a bad tackle, nasty, and it looks like he's done a serious injury. And that reminded me, of course, is the Maddison thing that's come out recently, which again is worth a mention because I watched it, and if people out there haven't watched it, it's really, really worth looking at. It's a really well done sort of fly on the wall thing about Maddison getting injured and in this first part of his recovery. And I watched that and it made me feel a little bit guilty because of course when he got injured, it was like, oh, Maddison's injured. And we straight away move on to who are we going to get in to replace him? We need a replace, and that's just the way of the world, isn't it? And
yeah, we don't know what's going to happen with Basuma, but I think all of us would wish both him and Madders the speediest of recoveries.
Yeah, well said.
So that leaves us nicely on to what we are really looking forward to, which is the return of proper football that people actually care about, which is the Premier League season. And Spurs on the march again towards Champions League places and the Premier League title at the end of this year. So
Wow.
we've got Aston Villa at home on Sunday at 2:00 kickoff. The trains aren't working, so it'll be a fun day on Sunday getting there. But really looking forward to the game. Aston Villa last season were obviously finished above us. They've not had the best start to the season. It is a game that can fill some supporters with a bit of dread because one team isn't in the best of form and they're coming to Spurs and our home record isn't great. So I do believe it is prediction time.
Yeah, I think this is a tricky one to predict, actually. Coming, obviously, off the back of the international break, Villa were just starting to pick up a little bit. They went about 4 or 5 games without even scoring, didn't they, at the start of the season? But they've managed to get a couple of goals. I think it's important for Thomas Frank to get a result because, as you say, the home games haven't been good. And I do think we will get a result. I am going to go with a 3-1 win. And for my goal scorer, I am going to go with Xavi Simons. He is finally going to break his duck and get off the mark. And yeah, we'll continue our good start to the season with 3 points against Aston Villa.
Right. Well, I'm going to be a bit more cautious here.
Good, because when you're cautious, you're generally wrong. So that's good.
Well, I think they have improved a little. I haven't done the research in the sense of I don't know how many players of Aston Villa's were out on international duty, but any top Premier League club is going to have plenty of players out and about. The one thing in our favour is that I think they might have lost Ollie Watkins for the match. Obviously, went off injured for England. I don't know how serious it was. And of course, we don't wish ill on other players getting injuries now, do we?
No, but he should be given the chance to recover properly.
Absolutely.
That's how we're going to
at least another
this.
week. I have a feeling that this might be a struggle. And we did say before the international break that we're running into a few games now that are going to be a bit of a test. I just get the feeling that Aston Villa will come at us, we'll go at them, and maybe that fatigue from the international break will hurt us. So I'm going to go with a draw. I'm going to go 2-2. And because I noticed over the international break that he'd started training, so I'm hoping very much that he's going to be on the bench at least, I'm going to go for an outside stab at Kolo Muani getting his first goal for the club.
Nice.
2-2.
I'm going to go positive again, just because our home form has been a bit poor, but I do think that there were elements in the Leeds game where I think it's starting to click. I think the midfield setup might be starting to bed in a little bit. I also agree with Mark that I think Xavi Simons is going to have a really good game. We are going to win. I think we're going to sneak it 2-1. I don't think it's going to be perfect, but I do also think Xavi Simons is going to be quite influential. But I actually think the goal scorer I'm going to pin my hat on is going to be Romero.
Ooh, coming up for a corner. I hope you boys are right, so let's wait and see.
Absolutely. Sounds good. So with that, coming to the end of our little mini bonus episode, but as we mentioned right at the start, we do have a little bit of a celebration on the podcast this week because we hit a few different milestones with the latest episode that we're very excited. Obviously, we've only been going a couple of months, but it's always good for us to hit these milestones. So very, very happy to say that we've passed the 500 streams and downloads on Spotify. We've also got to the 50 subscribers on YouTube. And the last episode was far and away our most popular episode as well on Spotify. So just a massive thank you. You know, all of that cannot be achieved by us without your support. So thank you for that. It means a lot. You know, we love doing this podcast. And we would probably do it even if nobody was listening, but it's really great. A little bit of a boost in enthusiasm to know that you know, we seem to be appreciated in what we're doing. Hopefully that you're enjoying the content. Yeah, you know, a big thank you for supporting us.
Here, and look, if you're enjoying it, and you know another Spurs fan, and you say, "Hey, do you want to listen to 3 blokes twaddling on about Spurs?" I've got the thing for you. Yeah. Massive thanks to anybody that's streamed it or watched it on YouTube or been following the shorts as well. Yeah, we all enjoyed doing this, and long may it continue.
Yeah, and I'll sort of third that. as it were. You know, it's great when people are interacting on the socials as well. Generally, it's all been good. If we make a mistake, it's just because we don't research properly, to be honest. You know,
We've never said we're experts.
This is always just a pub chat with some jingles thrown in. But what we also try and do is do a few things different on the social channels as well. So, you know, have a look at TikTok, have a look at the YouTube channel. We've got some different stuff on there. My personal favourite is the history of the Levy years in song. I think that's well worth a listen. Is brilliantly put together. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, as long as it's nice. Just we don't have very big egos, and what egos we have are easily shattered.
Yeah, no, that's great. So thank you for all of that. And we look forward to another 500 streams and downloads. So there we go. The end of our little mini episode just to celebrate the end of the international break. Looking forward to proper football coming back at the weekend. Let's hope we can carry on where we left off and get 3 points against the Villa. Let's see how we do. We'll be back next week. Until then, come on you Spurs.
Come on you Spurs.